Welcome on now to video number 2. So I'd now like to share with you a recipe that I've tried lately. In this book here, Favourite Vegetarian Recipes. This is part of a salmon series of books, which I started to collect them and then I stopped collecting them and now I've started collecting them again. And I want to complete the series now, so back into collecting on this one, particularly as I'm now almost finished the DK series, so yeah. Now, I really love these books. They're just little books, and they only cost about sort of £3, so they're pretty cheap, but they're just really good little books. There's a whole series of these favourite recipe books, each written by a different author, put together by a different author. But why I really like them is they have, as I showed you last time, but they have these really nice pictures in them, like almost like little works of art, just really nice pictures. The recipe I want to share with you, there are quite a few in here I'd like to try, but one I tried recently that I really liked was cheese and broccoli pasta puff. It says, no child or adult will refuse to eat broccoli served like this. So this is how you make it then. Bearing in mind that the recipe was for 4 people, so I had to cut it down to make it suitable for 1. So if you're doing it, so what you do, so it contains a quarter, and I'm giving you the measurements now for 1 person. So I used a 1/4 ounce of butter, I used about 75 grams of mini pasta shapes, I used about a 1/4 of a broccoli florets, I used a 1/4 ounce of plain flour, I used wholemeal flour to be healthy, I used a 1/4 pint of milk, I used about 30 grams of extra strong cheese, I used cheddar, and I used a teaspoon of whole grain mustard and 1 egg and black pepper. Now the recipe says to separate the egg, but I didn't actually do that bit because I thought it was a bit faffy, and for the life of me I cannot separate eggs. One day I really want to try and work out how you do it, and I know you can get special gadgets to separate them for you, but it's a little bit faffy and I just couldn't be bothered today. Well, when I made it. Not today, I didn't make it today, but when I made it I couldn't be bothered to do that. So what you do is you get an oven-proof dish, you grease the oven-proof dish, you cook the pasta and broccoli until tender, and then in a small pan, while the pasta is cooking, I added the broccoli in the last sort of like 3 minutes of the pasta's cooking time, because pasta usually takes about like 9 to 11 minutes. So I added the broccoli during the last 3 minutes because obviously I didn't want the broccoli to overcook. So while the pasta and broccoli are being done, you melt the butter in a small pan and stir in the flour. So you're sort of creating a roux sauce. It's important to stir the flour to prevent any lumps. You then add the milk and you keep on stirring. This is really important, don't stop stirring. You add the milk and you bring to the boil, stirring constantly. Once thickened, you stir in that spoonful of whole grain mustard. You add the black pepper and salt, if you like salt. I don't add salt, but you might want to add salt. And simmer gently for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then you stir in the grated cheese and you turn off the heat and put on one side to cool. You then add the drained, make sure you drain it, drained pasta, broccoli and the cracked egg, stirring well. As I say, I didn't separate the egg, but if you want to, if you are going down the path of separating the egg, you would just add the egg yolk at that point, and then you would whisk the egg whites until stiff, and then fold into the pasta. But as I say, I didn't do that bit because I couldn't be bothered. I just added the whole egg and whisked it straight in. You then spoon the mixture into the dish, and you bake at about 200 degrees, and I'll also give you the other measure, which is 400 degrees F, is that Fahrenheit? I presume it is, yeah. Or gas mark 6 for 20 minutes, but in my oven, I did it on 200 degrees because that's the oven I've got, for about 20 minutes. But as I say, all ovens vary, so you know, go with your oven basically. Now, as I say, I didn't separate the egg. I think it would have affected the texture because it says here it's like meant to be a puff. So if you separated the egg, I think that would have made it puff up. I think that's the idea because you've been whisking the whites and making them all stiff. But I didn't do that bit, so obviously it didn't puff up. But it was still really, really nice, and it was almost like a little bit like scrambled egg mixture when it came out. And it was really nice the way the broccoli kind of, like some of the mixture kind of stuck onto the broccoli, and then you had this lovely, lovely scrambled eggy kind of cheesy bake, and it was really, really nice. So that was lovely, and yes, came from Favourite Vegetarian Recipe series. Okay, so I've got some more recipes I'd like to share with you, but I'm going to pace myself because I thought, otherwise it can be a little bit like too much information, can't it? So it might be best if I just give you one or two per week. So that's a recipe I'm going to share with you today, but I have got other recipes I'd like to share with you in future weeks. Now, before I finish, I just wanted to mention something. I wanted to share with you another YouTube channel that I very much like watching, because I'm a YouTube addict. I love YouTube. I always use YouTube to calm down in the evenings. I have this routine where from about roughly from about sort of 8:30 until about 9:45, because I go to bed at about 10:40 on the dot. I'm a creature of routine, but I have a very strict bedtime routine. It's got to be followed. But yes, I watch YouTube between about 8:30 and 9:45 as a kind of way of calming down, because it's quite a kind of relaxing medium. I find it's not too stimulating, but it's still really enjoyable. And I do like watching other autistic YouTubers, because it's just interesting, kind of finding out about their experience and things like that. And one YouTuber I do like watching, and I'm going to put her link down below, is someone called, and I might actually be mispronouncing her name, so apologies to the person if I am. She's called Alyssa. I think that's how you pronounce it. Alyssa Petal. As I say, I will put it down below. And she's, I'm not sure how old she is, but she's a young woman. She's autistic, and she produces videos quite regularly just about her struggles. She talks about anxiety. She talks about what she does to calm down. And I think also I think she has mental health problems. I think she was actually in a psychiatric hospital for some time, and had some quite sort of tough experiences there. So she's talked about that, which is quite, obviously I've never experienced that, but that's quite interesting to hear about that. And and I find her a very easy to follow person. She's got a very good style. She's quite bubbly, quite a sort of fun person. And I just really enjoy watching her videos. She hasn't got like loads and loads of subscribers, and I think that's also why I want to give her a shout out, really, because I find that there are some YouTubers who've got literally loads and loads of subscribers on there, but they're not necessarily any better than the ones who only have, say, 50 subscribers or so. And and some of these ones, they're kind of they're really, really good. But I'm not sure how many people are aware of them. So that's why I wanted to mention her channel, because I've subscribed, and I would encourage you to do so as well. Probably make a day with lots more people subscribe to her channel. But as I say, I just really enjoy watching her videos, which is why I wanted to give her a shout out. I might mention in other weeks other YouTubers that I like, and particularly ones who don't currently have that many subscribers, but that I think should have more subscribers, and that I think are doing a great job, and I would like to share with you. So I might talk about some of those in future videos. Okay, so I'm going to stop rambling on now, and I very much look forward to speaking to you again next week, so thank you for watching.